We're going to move to item number 10, which is the report of the accreditation site visit team to Simpson University. Consultant Dr. Sarah Solari Colombini present this item. She's joined by team lead Dr. Keith Walters and institutional representative Dr. Darren Gordon, who's the associate provost and dean of the School of Education. And we'll wait for them to. All right, excellent. We have Dr. Gordon here. Is anyone needing to recuse themselves on this item? Seeing none, Dr. Solari.
Sure, I'm just waiting for Keith Walters, my team lead, which he's probably.
Dr. Walters, we'll wait for a moment where. Thank you.
He's there. While we're waiting for him to join, I just handed out, so Darren Gordon was supposed to be here today, and actually he had planned on coming today, but then we kind of had asked people to not come in person, and so he would have attended and would have handed out the report that you're getting later. So I just wanted to get that out to you. And those members that are remote have the report. It was sent to them. So kind of just handing it out as he would have been here. He would have handed it out.
And for members of the public, we will get that posted to the website so that it's transparent. Everybody has access to it. The other thing I would like to say is that we are going to create a policy related to these kinds of things and bring it back at the August meeting so that, because your decision is based on the team's report. And so we're getting more and more requests by institutions to bring like updates. And so I think for consistency's sake, we should have a policy about how we handle this kinds of things. So we will bring that back to you in August.
Appreciate that, thank you. And for the institution, did you want us to wait for Dr. Walters, or are we able to begin, Dr. Gordon?
He's a team lead.
Oh, he's a team lead. Never mind. My apologies. I'm gonna take my question back.
Do you guys see him logged in? Is he just okay?
Yeah, he was texting me. Oh, he's falling. Wait a minute. Sorry. Uh-oh. He went into the trouble. Hello. Keith? You're here on my phone, but you're not here in the room. Okay. So
He has to accept.
He needs to accept the invitation to join the meeting.
Request to join the meeting.
Thank you, Dr. Gordon, for your patience with our time today. We know we're a little bit
Okay.
off on our timing, so we appreciate your flexibility. There we go. We got Dr. Walters.
Right. Great.
All right, so we're gonna pass this back to Dr. Solari. We have everyone here.
Everyone's here now. Thank you. Yes. So good morning. This agenda item relates to the accreditation site visit that was held virtually March 23rd through the 25th of this year. And of course, I would like to thank Darren Gordon and Juliana Crow of Simpson University for all their preparation and planning. There was great interview turnout, and that accompanied with the evidence that was shared on the accreditation website allowed the team to come to a recommendation with a really high level of confidence. So I'd also like to thank the members of the site visit team. As you're aware, members of the Board of Institutional Reviewers are all volunteers and take time away from their professional and personal commitments to conduct the work of accreditation. So huge kudos to all volunteers. And then so that means it's a huge thank you to Keith Walters, our team lead, Patty Haydett-Kirsch, and Amy Gimono. You'll notice that this report looks a little different than the reports that you've reviewed this year. And that's because we conducted with a report template in the hopes of streamlining the work of the site visit review team members. There is an agenda item on this later today. Miranda will be presenting that. So we're not going to really focus on structure of the report, just content of the report. So with that, I'm going to ask our team lead, Keith Walters, to share the highlights of the site visit, which resulted in the team's recommendation of accreditation with a 7th year report. As you have in front of you, the report that the dean of Simpson University, who is Darren Gordon, he's also the provost, but he prepared this report because he wanted to let you know what steps have been taken between March 25th and today, June 16th, almost 3 months, to address the concern that was So Keith, are you ready?
Yes, and I guess I can still say good morning and sorry for the technology glitch. I think we should actually be a little bit happy that we're not quite as familiar with Zoom because that means life is returning to normal. I'd like to thank the team and their flexibility with the new form that we were using. And I'd really like to thank Sarah and Michelle as they guided us through this, and Darren and his team for all of the work that they did. Just to reiterate something that I'm sure you are all aware of, Simpson University was one of the accreditation visits that was put on hold because of literacy and PK through 3 work. And in between their initial submission and our preparation for the site visit, Simpson went through a leadership change. Part of that leadership change brought Darren on board, but Darren also had some struggles with getting the accreditation website all back up because there were some glitches. And so the work that they did was really impressive to prepare for this visit. And the team really felt like we got all of the information that we needed to make a decision with great confidence. One of the things I wanted to highlight is that throughout this visit, we heard from candidates and community members and faculty how Simpson's commitment to Northern California and particularly the rural districts was very responsive and service-oriented. And we walked away with this sense that Simpson University is playing a key role in preparing teachers for Northern California. The team, as you've read, noted that all common standards, with the exception of Common Standard 4, was met. Common Standard 4 was met with concerns, and the program standards all were met except for Program Standard 6 was met with concerns. The process of arriving at this decision was positive. It was very collaborative, and we were able to reach consensus with great confidence. We noted 2 things during the process. The first thing that we noted is the university was excellent at providing support at the candidate level. It is a small university, and as is typical with small universities, sometimes the distinction between the candidate level and the program level gets a little bit blurred. And that blurring was definitely apparent to us, where, aggregating data and saying as a whole what's going on, we struggled with finding a systematic approach to doing that. As related to Program Standard 6, we did note that the new version of the Cal TPA did create some problems during this transition. Some of the documentations came out late, and there wasn't really a clear plan to deal with that transition, as well as some of the hiccups in relationship to the work being done. And it was those 2 levels that led to the concerns that we met. I would like to reiterate that they had data, they had procedures. These were just kind of falling in between the gaps. Darren did share with Sarah and with me the work that they did between March 25 and today, and I did have an opportunity to review their work. And I can share that based on our conversations during our team meetings, the work that Darren did submit is the work that the team was looking to receive. So I can say that we are very pleased with the progress that they're making, and we feel that they are already beginning to address the concerns that we have. I'll turn it over to the team for your dialogue and consideration. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Just a couple corrections, Pat. I'm sorry. I just want to make sure. So it's Program Standard 5, not 6. So 5.
Oh, I can't read my writing. Sorry.
I know, that's okay. That's okay, Keith. Not a big deal. And then I forgot to mention Michelle Fennell, who was a co-consultant on this site visit, which is a huge oversight on my part, and she was so helpful. So sorry.
Oh, no, thank you. I appreciate that. And that prevents our questions, right? So that's good. We now invite the institutional representatives to briefly comment about the visit. And just a quick reminder that it's not a time to dispute the team's report, but rather to provide any additional insights. So, Dr. Gordon.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll try to keep it brief. I know things have been moving a little bit slower. So just want to say thank you to Sarah and Michelle and to Keith and the rest of the review team for all of their support, their help through this process. Our team engaged it with the perspective of wanting to learn and to grow as a team and what we're doing for the credential programs here in the North State. So when we received, feedback during the site visit, as well as the formal final feedback, it was actually quite motivating and inspiring. So it has created a lot of work that we've already been working on with the institution of a curriculum committee, and that work has just taken off in a number of ways that we feel very grateful for the review team, because a lot of that is due to their insights and their reflections, particularly related to being more systematic with the looking at TPA data. And that's been really exciting work that we've been working on over the past few months. So anyway, I just want to keep it brief and say thank you. We've really enjoyed the process and the support of the team, and so grateful for being able to use their feedback in productive ways to improve our program.
So much for your goal of continuous improvement and your reflection. That is appreciated. We now have an opportunity for public comment. Are there any public comments at this time?
There are no public comments.
Thank you so much, Ms. Bernardo. And then our committee, any questions that you would like to ask of the institute or any comments? You have my co-chair.
Well, good morning and thank you for being here. And it's great to see all the improvements you've already addressed since the visit, and it shows that you're putting things into action. I had a couple questions relating to the Cal TPAs. I noticed that you are providing the faculty training. Who's doing that? Who is leading that?
Well, it's primarily a team effort, but the one that would be leading that is our TPA coordinator, Becky Luff. She would be the primary lead, but we also have a director of clinical practice who provides TPA support in a variety of ways as well too. Juliana Crow is our credential analyst. She also does from another perspective as well too. I'm engaged in that as well. So it's really a team effort. We're a small team, but our TPA coordinator would take the lead on that.
Has she been trained in the Cal TPA assessing or anything like that?
At least as far as I'm aware, she has not been an assessor of the TPA, but she has participated in training sessions and thoroughly understands the new documentation that's come out with the new version.
And I did notice that the scores for specifically single subject were quite low, and I see that you're addressing that through data collection. How is that being embedded throughout the curriculum, not just clinical practice?
Yes, for sure. And that's something that hasn't happened yet, but is in planning stages for what we're looking at as a 2-hour faculty workshop preceding the fall semester, where we're especially going to be looking at closer alignment between TPA tasks, the rubrics, and how those align with TPEs that are already being implemented, but making those more explicit, more a stronger alignment between tasks, rubric, and TPE activities and assignments, and particularly identifying that within the secondary courses that we have. 2 of them are unique in our program. So that would be curriculum instruction for secondary, as well as language arts for secondary. So that's going to be a primary focus of our faculty workshop preceding the fall semester.
If I can add just one element to this, in the addendum that Darren and his team provided, they do have a matrix that shows how they anticipate beginning to coordinate the TPE and the TPAs into their coursework. So that was a gap we noticed as a team, but the addendum verifies and documents Darren's and his team's work towards addressing it.
That does address the alignment. I was just wondering how the actual TPA tasks will be embedded. So are you going to be using templates with assignments? How are you directly having students work on the TPA throughout the program?
Yeah, so I mean, to some degree, we want to provide some space for faculty engaged in that process, and we haven't had that opportunity. Both of those instructors are adjuncts, and so we're going to be engaging with them more specifically as to hear some options, hear the tasks, and to consider ways in which they feel like it's an authentic use of those TPA tasks within their course at present, and or make some adaptations or adjustments to make sure those TPA tasks are clearly aligned and clearly practiced and clearly assessed within those two specific courses in particular.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions from our video? Is an action item. If there are no other questions, is there a motion? Member Jones.
Here we go. I move that we accept the recommendation of accreditation with a 7th-year report for Simpson University.
Second from Member Hall, and we'll do a roll call vote.
Allison Leggett,
Aye.
Augustin Cervantes,
Aye.
Ann Jones,
Aye.
Patrick McKee,
Aye.
can see the
Alan Hallis,
Aye.
Mike Hillis,
Aye.
Malika Bryant,
Aye.
Jay Sykes,
Aye.
Connie Campbell,
Aye.
Jessica Bogdanovich,
Aye.
Michelle Hall.
Aye.
Okay, passes.
All right, motion carries. Congratulations. Thank you so much for your hard work and dedication. And again, I appreciate truly your open reflectiveness, sharing the information today. We look forward to hearing more in the future. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you. And as for our community accreditation, what we're trying to do is navigate the schedule. One of the hiccups we're having is there are people that are not available when we would need them to be available, and a restructuring of our morning. So we're going to be doing some bouncing around, and we just ask that everyone, thank you for your flexibility.
May I have your attention, please? A fire-related emergency has been reported in the building.
So
Please remain calm and exit the building.
we are currently evacuating into a fire in the building. So we're going to actually end the meeting at this point, and we'll reconvene in a moment.
Attention, please.
Starting yet, but we're just wanting everyone on live stream. We are back. We are safe. There was a fire alarm malfunction per the building engineer. So in case you're ever here in person, you have to walk like a mile away from the building in the heat. So we're no longer complaining about the cold AC in here.
Which is now not running.
It's not running at this point, but we are all safe. Thank you to Aaron and Cheryl for guiding us to the safe locations to be at. And we're gonna try to get up for those outside. We're gonna try to do a working lunch in a couple minutes. We're gonna all walk down to the assumed reopened cafeteria. It's open. Our lunches are probably there, and then we'll do a working lunch because we have some travel conflicts to keep quorum. So with that, I'll pass it over to Co-Chair Bogdanovich when we have everybody, and I think we need the institution.
10 or 11 now.
11.
So do we think we'll get through this one and then break for lunch? Is that
Yeah.
what you think? Okay.
Yeah.
When we were trying to navigate the schedule, there's some team leads who are not available, so we may be presenting without team leads with it, which is allowable to do, but just a FYI, in case later on, why is there not a team lead? It's because we had to figure things out and not prevent things from happening.
Right, it looks like we have everybody here, so we'll go ahead and reconvene. Thank you, everybody, for your patience while we navigated the fire drill. We are on item 11, which is the report of the accreditation site visit team to San Luis Obispo, County Office of Education consultant Christina Najarro will introduce the item. Joining her today is team lead Rhonda Munoz and institutional representatives, Dr. Joe Koski, Assistant Superintendent of Educational Support Services, Kelly Ward, Director of Induction Programs, and Megan O'Dwyler, Administrative Assistant. Does anybody need to recuse themselves? All right, Ms. Najarro, will you begin, please?
Thank you so much, and good afternoon, committee members. It's a pleasure to be here this afternoon to introduce the report on the virtual site visit to San Luis Obispo County Office of Education, which took place from May 4th to 6th of this year for their clear administrative services, credential, and teacher induction programs. The visit proceeded in accordance with all normal protocols. I'd like to take a moment to recognize the hard work and professionalism of the site visit team. The members were Kelly Daly, Dr. Chuck Flores, and Tricia Mendinueto. And they reviewed evidence leading up to and during the site visit, which made for a well-informed and unanimous decision during team deliberations. The team's organization, communication, and focus, along with the outstanding leadership and guidance of team lead Rhonda Munoz, led to a thorough review of SLO County Office's outstanding and standards-based programs. I'll pause here to extend an additional note of appreciation to Kelly and Rhonda, who joined the team at the last minute after other reviewers were unable to participate. This accreditation system only works with the support of our amazing volunteers, and these two amazing women totally came to the rescue. I would also like to thank and recognize the extraordinary work of Kelly Ward, the Director of Induction Programs, and Megan O'Dwyer, the Administrative Assistant to both programs. As we know, preparing for a site visit is quite a heavy lift. It was a pleasure working with Kelly and Megan as they prepared for and hosted us for the site visit, while continuously providing top-tier support to the participants in their programs. I will now turn it over to Rhonda, who will review the team's findings, as well as some thoughts on the report template that was piloted during this visit.
Right. Good afternoon. Thank you. I'm Rhonda Munoz, and I had the privilege of serving as team lead for the San Luis Obispo County Office of Education Accreditation site visit. And before I get started, I would also like to extend my thank you for our commission consultant, Christina Najarro, for her guidance and support throughout this process. Her guidance and support made the visit flow smoothly, and for her support, especially on day 2 when I lost my voice. She was very supportive through that process because I was sick. So continuing on, Kelly and Megan, thank you too for all your support and your team's support, especially for the smoothness of the virtual visit. So during the visit, the team reviewed extensive documentation. We interviewed over 200 education partners representing the candidates, completers, mentors, coaches, district administrators, advisory members, program staff, and members of the partner districts. These interviews, combined with a thorough review of all the evidence provided by SLO County, provided the team with a high degree of confidence in our findings. Our team found that all preconditions were aligned, all 5 common standards were met, all 5 clear administrative service credential program standards were met, and all 6 teacher induction program standards were met. While the team identified one inconsistently implemented element in Common Standard 1 related to the recruitment intention efforts, and one consistently implemented element in Common Standard 2 related to the use of multiple measures in admissions, the extensive team discussion and careful consideration of the evidence resulted in a unanimous determination that both of these standards were met overall. And we were highly confident in that decision. Throughout the visit, the team was particularly impressed by the message and the feeling of the strong culture of collaboration across all the partner districts. The individualized support provided through the mentor and coaching, and the program's commitment to continuous improvement. There was abundant mention of the times that Kelly collected feedback and brought it forward and reflected upon it to continually think about how she can improve that, her programs, and the use of the education partners' feedback. Candidates, completers, mentors, the coaches, administrators consistently described the programs as responsive, supportive, and impactful to their professional growth. And then again, one theme that emerged repeatedly across all these interviews was appreciation for the program's leadership. Education partners consistently described the induction director as responsive, collaborative, and deeply committed to supporting the candidates, mentors, coaches, and the district partners. We found that this leadership has helped create a culture of trust, continuous improvement, and shared ownership across the county. And so based on the evidence reviewed and the findings of the accreditation team, we unanimously recommend accreditation for the San Luis Obispo County Office of Education Educator Preparation Programs. And so, like Ms. Najarro mentioned, I wanted to take some time to briefly acknowledge the new program report template that we were able to pilot during the site visit. As a team lead, I found the format to be really user-friendly. It was better aligned to the evidence collected during the visit and more effective really in communicating the program strengths and findings. The template really allowed our team to tell a more complete story about the program, especially its quality, while maintaining that clear alignment to the standards. The template also helped us, it will help the standards reviewers to be more attentive during our deliberation processes when we were getting back together and looking at the standards. I did not feel that their focus was distracted by, well, I need to go back and really write this, my report around the standards. We were really able to go line by line and look at the standards and have that discussion and then just decide, was it being met or not, and move along. Made for some great conversations, deep conversations. So those conversations were still happening, but their focus was in those times that we were deliberating. So I really appreciate the Commission's willingness to be innovative and believe that this format, whether it's this format or one of the other being piloted, really has the potential to strengthen the future accreditation reports. So thank you, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. I think we're going to invite the institutional representatives to briefly comment about the visit. We remind you that this is not a time to dispute the team's report, but rather to provide any thoughts you had about the visit. Do we? So.
Yeah, perfect. Yes, I'm Kelly Ward. Thank you, Rhonda, so much for being such a great lead. I just want to briefly say the experience has been tremendous. And here at SLOCO, we embraced it from the beginning. Our core value is continual improvement. And we were able to use this process to really lean in deeper and really strengthen the areas we were already working on. Directly after the summary report, I was able to meet with our Induction Leadership Council, and I was able to really present all of the information and the two inconsistencies as well. to our Induction Leadership Council. And as I said, it's only strengthened our focus. We've already went ahead and addressed Common Standard 2 to make sure our language is consistent through all of our materials, our documentation, our MOAs, and every piece of information that we put out there so that there's consistent, clear, concise information. We also took that even further to talk with our LEAs about those candidates who truly do not have preliminary credentials yet, and dug in deeply about how we're ensuring support across our county and making sure that no educator is left unsupported here in San Luis Obispo County. We also dug deeper into our recruitment effort conversations around diversifying our pool. We certainly recognize that a challenge in San Luis Obispo County, as well as other counties in California. We take that very seriously. It is a priority. We went ahead and mobilized and changed some of the ways we were collecting data to make sure we had the exact data we needed to showcase to our Induction Leadership Council, who is in our program, and how we are making sure that we are meeting that goal of equal representation and ensuring that all our students are being served by teachers who have had that valuable coaching experience to really have the practices and strategies they need to serve the students in California and certainly the students in our county. We really enjoyed the process. I want to say thank you to Christina particularly. She wasn't the first consultant assigned to me. I think maybe the third, but early out of the gates, I knew that I was going to be well held and well led through the experience. The communication has been superb. There have been no surprises, and I believe that we've come out of it a stronger program, even more dedicated to the alignment of our standards to these induction standards, but even more importantly to impact and ensuring that we are providing high quality support to all of our educators and our leaders in San Luis Obispo County. It was a pleasure to be part of the process, and I look forward to continually learning as we continue to make more headway in improvement areas across the board.
Thank you for sharing. Do we have any public comments at this time?
There are no public comments.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments from committee members? Yes, Member Cervantes.
Yeah, no, we heard from another COE and really kudos and want to commend you all for really stepping up and building a collaborative, I would call a candidate center system. Considering the complications of being a COE and having to work with column diverse stakeholders, but it's clear that there is a feedback loop there that includes the candidates, mentors, completers, and partners, and that feedback is getting back to you all, and you're using it to make some meaningful improvements over time. So yeah, just wanted to commend you on putting in that effort and also on being responsive to immediately to the areas you want to improve upon. This the COA here is really looking not only for quality assurance, but also for that responsiveness to continuously get better. It is a human resource piece we do, all of us here collectively. And so the fact of the matter is there that you're stepping up and doing it. So thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments from the committee members? All right, this is an action item. Do I have a motion? Member Sykes?
I move to approve the site visit report for San Luis Obispo County Office of Education.
Do I have a second? Thank you, Member Hall. All right, we will now go to roll call vote. When you hear your name, please answer aye for yes, no for no, and abstain if you need to.
Allison Leggett.
Aye.
Augustin Cervantes.
Aye.
Ann Jones.
Aye.
Patrick McKee.
Aye.
Ellen Hallis.
Aye.
Mike Hillis.
Aye.
Malika Bryant.
Aye.
Chase Sykes.
Aye.
Connie Campbell.
Aye.
Jessica Bogdanovich.
Aye.
Michelle Hall.
Aye.
We're all looking up because the air AC just turned on, so that's FYI of our watching. It sounds like an airplane's coming through. So our apologies on we're paying attention, but things are happening here today.
Thank you. The motion carries. We appreciate you, Dr. Koski, Ms. Ward, Ms. O'Dwyer, Ms. Munoz, and Ms. Navarro. Good luck moving forward, and thank you for being so flexible today. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
So we were discussing the possibility of coming back at 1 o'clock, working lunch. And thank you out there for everyone waiting for us. We'll be back. Yep, we can bring food up, right?
Yeah.
Or we're eating as we walk.
Yes, stuff that actually only if let's see.
Oh, it'll take us a minute because they don't know when we're back.
Well, welcome back. That was quick.
We're gonna go to
Yeah.
We are moving to item 15. Committee members that are online.
Oh, we're gonna via text just to let them know they're here. But I can't do this one.
Okay.
Oh, this is when you can't.
If Zappos was my dean, is that?
Oh, okay, yeah, you should probably.
Is he coming?
Yeah. There's Christine. Thank you, Christine, for joining us. I know it's been a pain.
You bet. Guys are just trying to make it more fun.
For our institution and lead, thank you so much for your patience. Today got a little bit behind, but then we threw a fire alarm into the mix of it, so we got really behind. So if you don't mind, we are having a working lunch, so if you see some of our members eating, we just want to respect everyone's time, and Christine was available, so thank you for your flexibility. With item number 15 was the report accreditation site visit to Westmont College. Consultant Dr. Timothy Weeks will be presenting the item. Joining him, as I mentioned, is team lead Dr. Christine Zeppos and institutional representative Dr. Carolyn Mitten, chair of the education department. And do we have anyone that needs to recuse themselves? And we have my co-chair will be recusing, as well as member Leggett. Does that still give us quorum?
Yep.
All right, so we do have quorum. So with that, Dr. Weeks, you can begin. Thank you. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thank you. And good afternoon, committee members. My mail alert. Sorry about that. Christine has heard that numerous times during the visit. It's commission only. Okay. Item 15 presents the report from the accreditation site visit to Westmont College that took place from April 13th to 15th, 2026. The site was conducted in person. However, some of the non-local program completer and employer interviews were done via technology. A total of 83 interviews were conducted with various individuals throughout the site visit. And while several interviews were held remotely, the site visit proceeded in accordance with all normal accreditation protocols. I would like to start off by recognizing the outstanding work of our very experienced team lead, Dr. Christine Zeppos. She did an amazing job managing the team and was able to effortlessly navigate through a last-minute change in one of our site visit team members. And I'd like to give her kudos for that. I would also like to recognize the site visit team comprised of Rachel Wong from Point Loma University and Dr. Manuel Carrera from CSU Channel Islands for all their hard work that they put into executing on what was a seemingly flawless site visit. And then finally, I definitely have to thank and acknowledge the institutional lead, Carolyn Mitten, as well as her colleagues from Westmont University College for the amazing job that they did in preparing for the visit. And I would especially like to thank Carolyn for her prompt response to our request for additional information. I believe she went above and beyond the call of duty to help support one of our reviewers who was changed at the last minute. So I'd like to thank her for that. And I will now turn this item over to our team lead, who will present the site visit report and the team's findings and accreditation recommendation. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Tim, and a big thank you to you for your support through this visit. It was great to be back to a face-to-face visit, and wonderful to meet the Westmont community. So I'll jump right to it. I know we're behind, so I'll make this briefer than normal, but it was wonderful to see all of the 5 common standards were fully met, and the program standards were fully met as well, leading to the unanimous decision of the team for accreditation. And the one thing I will say is that what we continue to hear from the institution, from all of the stakeholders, the students, the faculty, and particularly the community, is the depth of relationships that the institution, that Westmont goes to ensure the relational aspects of the students getting authentic experiences out in the field and addressing any issues as they come up, so that the student candidate is being formed at the highest levels. And so what we continue to hear from the community were not aspects of their program for recommendation, but simply they wanted more Westmont students. And we told the leadership at the institution of this continued request, please produce more, because we want more of their outstanding graduates. And that is uncommon, as many of us have seen through this process. So I too want to thank the wonderful team that we worked with, Rochelle and Manuel, who were great to work with face to face. And again, Tim, thanks for your guidance and leadership. And then over to Carolyn. I know this was her first visit, and having it face to face after some years of not having face to face, there were challenges, and she worked through all of them with her team. And what a wonderful, welcoming team of administrators. There was also Andrew Mullen, Heather Verkhold, who really any request we had, she was on it so fast, which made the process that much easier. But also the larger Westmont community, from, again, all staff members up to the president's office, taking their time and really listening to ensure that the standards were met at the highest level and that they're being responsive. So kudos to Westmont. It was a pleasure to be there, and what a wonderful community. So I guess we'll pass it over back to Tim or Carolyn. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, Dr. Zeppos. We now invite the institutional representatives to briefly comment about the visit. Just a quick reminder, not a time to dispute the team's report, but rather to provide any thoughts you had about the visit.
Yeah, I mean, again, lots of thanks around the table. Tim and Christine, like you said, Christine, it was my first visit. So it was a huge help to have both of you to bounce ideas off of, and just to make sure it was as smooth as could be in person. And Rochelle and Manuel, such great feedback along the way, so detailed in their work with all the interviews that were conducted on campus. And yeah, my team isn't here this morning, but a big shout out to them. They did a really great job and worked hard during the visit to make sure, again, it went smoothly. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much. We're going to pause to see if we have any public comments.
There are no public comments.
Bernardo, any questions or comments from our committee members? I have Member Phyllis.
Yeah, just a great job on the report and the visit. Given that comment that we just heard about, we just wish that there was more of the candidates going through your program, and obviously the small numbers that you have. There's also the question around sustainability, having being at a private myself. I'm curious if you are all thinking about how you do get the word out to try and bring in more students to obviously such a quality program.
Yeah, it's a great question. I mean, we did get one of the teacher residency grants this year, so that has been a huge boost to us. We've already got a doubling in size of our credential program candidates for next year, which is really exciting. And that's just creating a lot of momentum on a larger basis. It's not just the residency, but people are in the community coming to recognize, oh, like there is a teaching credential program option there for me. So spreading the word through that residency has been sort of our first step. And then our institution as a whole is starting to look into broadening programs. We just got a master's in nursing approved, which is our first master's. So for a long time, our candidates have been telling us we'd really like to have a master's option. And we do think that that would help retain some of our students and even recruit some on the incoming end of admissions. So we're hopeful that that direction and all the brainstorming that we've begun since the visit will help to really bring in some more great candidates.
Great, thanks.
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify about the sustainability. Even though it's a very small program, in all the discussions that we had with the administration, they did ensure us that due to the robust alumni support, not just for the college, but the student teacher program specifically, that there were no concerns whatsoever about the sustainability of the program for the foreseeable future.
Thank you for that clarification. Any other committee members? Yeah, Member Cervantes.
Yeah, just really quick. Yeah, just to commend you for the strong relationships, being small but mighty, having a highly relational program. I mean, the report did note you're looking to increase candidate diversity, and that's an institutional priority. So, I guess just thoughts around that. How are you looking to attract and support a more diverse educator workforce, and where do you see the greatest opportunity to be able to do so?
Yeah, because we're a small institution, it really is a big collaborative effort on that front. I think we work really closely with admissions. I just met with them again yesterday, and that's a big priority on their end, is to diversify our students that are coming in from the very beginning to be liberal studies majors or to have an education minor, so that when they get to the credential program, we're getting a more diverse pool of candidates. So there's that piece. But then again, back to the residency, it was written as a diversify the workforce grant with Santa Barbara Unified. And so the whole goal for that is to get more candidates, more future teachers in our classrooms that reflect the students that they're working with in the classrooms. So I would say that's our biggest opportunity going forward in the near future. But of course, we want to continue and expand beyond that.
Yeah, Member Campbell.
I just wanted to recognize how involved your faculty are in every step of every process. It's so impressive, having been on a faculty. And the cadence of your meetings, that they're all supervisors. I mean, they must know the ins and outs of every step of the process. I love that. It is mentioned here that Westmont collaborates not only with the local school district, but with the Santa Barbara County Office of Education. I just wondered what those collaborations are with the county office.
Yeah, there's quite a few advisory boards that we serve on and we're participating in, like Partners in Education is a group that runs through the county education office. And so lots of folks from industry and education coming together and trying to problem solve education in Santa Barbara and what are the opportunities for that. So that's one example of a way that we're involved with the county office. I go and sit for some of the job fairs and get the word out about our program with potential candidates every year. There's an advisory board for their induction program that I also help out with and give feedback on. So yeah, it's a great group. I mean, Santa Barbara is a pretty small town in some ways, so there are a lot of opportunities for us to network with our colleagues and work together.
Good questions or comments? When ready, this is also a motion, action item if there's a motion. Member Jones.
I move that we accept the recommendation of accreditation for Westmont College.
We have a second from Member Hall, and now we're going to go into a roll call vote.
Allison Leggett.
Looks like she's not here,
Not back. Okay. Augustin Cervantes.
Aye.
Ann Jones.
Aye.
Patrick McKee.
Aye.
Alan Hallis,
Aye.
Mike Hillis,
Aye.
Malika Bryant,
Aye.
Jay Sykes,
Aye.
Connie Campbell,
Aye.
and Michelle Hall.
Congratulations, you have a unanimous approval, the 2018 approved, 2026 approved. Keep up the excellent work and what you're doing in your community. Job well done.
Yeah.
Thank
For
you.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
Great to see you all. Thank you, everyone.
Dr. Weeks.
Thanks,
Thank you for
everybody.
your flexibility. And we're going to be, for our committee members, moving to item number 18, which is the report of accreditation site visit team to the Notre Dame de Namur.
It's item 14.
I'm sorry, item 14. And we're just navigating movement through the agenda when people's availability are. So we are going to bring in consultants, Dr. Elizabeth de los Santos, Dr. Francis Keller will present this item. Joining them will be the team lead, Dr. Michael Guitar, and institutional representatives, Dr. Kelly Vaughn, Dean, School of Education, Dr. Karen O'Neill, Director, Special Education and Credentials, Dr. Carol Pariano, Director, Multiple and Single Subject Credentials. Will anyone be recusing themselves on this item? Looks like nobody, and we'll be recusing and taking a look at, I see, it says Elizabeth's raised her hand. Right, we have everybody here. We have Francis, there's something.
Yeah, Elizabeth.
Oh, yeah, Elizabeth. Excellent. Oh, no, Francis, okay. All right, so then with that, Dr. De Los Santos, welcome. You can begin.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. It is my pleasure to present the site visit report for Notre Dame de Namur University with my colleague, Dr. Keller. The visit took place virtually from April 19th through 22nd, 2026. A total of 138 interviews were conducted, and the visit proceeded in accordance with all normal accreditation protocols. We want to sincerely thank the team from NDNU for their thorough preparation for the visit and timely response to requests for additional information and documentation. I will now turn it over to our amazing team lead, Dr. Michael Kotar.
Good afternoon. Thank you for taking our report today. I want to start by thanking the CTC consultants, Elizabeth de los Santos and Francis Keller. They were an excellent help to us in conducting the virtual site visit. On behalf of the entire team, I want to thank Dean Kelly Vaughn and Accreditation Coordinator Carol Hodges, as well as President Beth Martin and Provost Greg Zubach. We appreciated the candor, and we're actually very fascinated by the story of transformation that's taken place at Notre Dame de Namur. I want to also recognize the team members. They are Doreen Furco of California Baptist University, Sarah Graham Juganatos of California State University, Chico, Debbie Meadows of California State University, Bakersfield, and Mel Spence of California Lutheran University. Each of them is a highly effective reviewer across both common and program standards. They are totally committed to the role of the commission process in maintaining quality teacher education and educator preparation programs, and they worked on this review with great care. Notre Dame is a Catholic university located in Belmont, California. It focuses on professionally oriented education for learners who will transform the world through community-based action for social justice. Notre Dame is an exclusive learning community guided by 7 hallmarks and 8 core principles that come from their founding. The university was founded in 1851 by the Sisters of Notre Dame de Namur. It's the 3rd oldest university in California and the first to offer women a baccalaureate degree. As I mentioned, they are currently in the process of transformation and renewal. They were faced with significant enrollment declines and other challenges in the right before the pandemic. The university began a transition in 2021 to operate primarily as a graduate university and implement a hybrid or online mode of instruction. They have embraced that and made a number of changes that will that actually, I think, put them in a very good position for continuation. So on to the standards. All program standards for the multiple and single subject credential programs were met, except for program standard 3, which was met with concerns. That's the standard on clinical practice. It was met with concerns due to the site team's inability to verify that the program provides district employed supervisors with a minimum of 10 hours of professional development that includes orientation to program curriculum, effective supervision approaches, and content-specific pedagogy and instructional practices. Additionally, the team was unable to verify that the program ensures that district-employed supervisors remain current in knowledge and skills for candidate supervision and program expectations. All indications the institution will address those in a fairly quick manner. All program standards for the preliminary education specialist, mild to moderate support needs, and extensive support needs were met, and all common standards were met. We found that the NDNU teacher patient programs to be well designed to effectively prepare critical candidates, hire the station and its staff, their optimism, they transform program in the face of significant challenges, and then for their tenacity to strengthen old partnerships and create new ones. And this was especially apparent as we did our interviews, and their commitment to serving credentialed candidates.
We lost our team lead. With that though, if he jumps back on, but should we give the institution an opportunity to, okay, let's have the institution while we're waiting for him to come back. Would you like to share anything? It's not a time to dispute any of the comments you've heard so far, but rather to provide any additional thoughts.
There he is.
Would you like me to go or wait? Michael looks like he's going. Okay. So it's interesting that what we did in our visit was we put it around a theme, and the theme is on one of our sisters' hallmarks, hallmark number 6 on community. And I think it was very apparent in the 130 so interviews that that was what we were embodying. And there's another part too that, if you don't mind me sharing, it's from the sisters themselves. I'm learning this word. Indefatigable. Sorry. And that was one of the words that they had on their ship. And it means to persevere. And that is what we're doing and thriving. So thank you.
Thank you so much. And Michael, I'm sorry, we got you cut off a little bit. Did you want anything else that you wanted to share?
I was right at the end of my when Zoom left me for a moment. So no, I don't have anything else. It was a very good visit. Many wonderful conversations with the faculty and staff at Notre Dame de Namur.
All right, thank you so much. As we move forward, are there any public comments on this item?
There are no public comments.
Thank you so much. This is an opportunity for questions and comments from our committee members. Do our committee members have any questions or comments? I have a data question for the institution. You know, one thing that I was very impressed with is the candidate feedback on all the supports that you have provided your candidates for the TPA. But then I also noticed the TPA data didn't look like the percentages were as you would hope them to be. So what is your strategies to blend their satisfaction and support, but also making sure that their initial pass rate is positive?
I am so glad you asked that question. As the former TPA director myself, faculty for the last 15 years, and that was definitely transformation in the last year. I mean, we had a new TPA director that came on board, and here's some things that I'm thinking of that I think that will help propel us. We are looking at some really robust formative feedback measures within the TPA, and particularly using two parts. One, they're both in pilot stages. One is a AI embedded custom agent using the TPA, not only the rubrics, but primarily the TPEs. And we've got faculty that are actually creating it, and they're going to show it to me in about a week or so. And that's something we like to roll out in addition to our collaboration with Athena. It's really under with the center, Reaching and Teaching the Whole Child. But Athena is the video platform, and they have an AI embedded tool that allows for the annotation for teacher candidates. And it's not, I want to be very clear, it's not a cop-out about, okay, the AI is going to basically say it as it is. But it's really just a point, and it allows the university supervisors, the teacher candidates to have really robust discussions that they can add on into their TPA portfolio submission. We think that having that human-centered kind of approach that is based on the expertise of our university supervisors, our faculty, our TPA instructors, alongside with these advanced tools, is going to bring about some. I'm very curious to see what's going to happen in this coming year. So,
well, kudos to you for leveraging modern technology as you move forward, persevering, like you said earlier, but also keeping the human-centered approach. Because again, it was very clear your candidates felt very supported, and I think in the end, that's what matters the most. But I'm glad that you have some initiatives you're moving forward on. Thank you. Member Cervantes.
Yeah, no, kudos just on your resilience and innovation. It was reflected in the report that you're going through significant institutional changes, but you're still serving your candidates and school partners very well. My question is related to the clinical practice concern. What changes are you looking, or what systems are you looking to build in order to both be consistent and sustainable moving forward? I also find that when you address clinical practice, you're also in many ways promoting your institution out in the community. So are there any thoughts on like how you want to use that to also propagate the programs and get folks in the community excited about them, both to recruit students, but also to enhance, call it school partner relationships, which we know are needed for the sustainability of our teacher candidates, both those in the program and beyond?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked that question too. That is, I think, moving forward, I'll let my wonderful program director, Carol, speak to kind of on the practical, technical parts, but let me kind of explain maybe the big picture really, really briefly, is that moving forward, we are looking at centering all our we've been on a multi-year research project professional development relationship with the Center for Reaching and Teaching the Whole Child. And they're very much grounded on social, emotional, culturally relevant practices in teacher education. And so they just finished a year, and they're going to continue in the next year, heavy on professional development of what that looks like in terms of us as teacher educators really embodying and practicing the parts that is in that whole educator framework. And in turn, also sharing that with our students who are those teacher candidates. I think that doubled up with the resident teacher programs that we are bringing to STORE. Not only our current ones, but our new 2 incoming ones. I really believe in a lot of collaboration and insight and input that will really speak into a more robust of mentor teachers or cooperating teachers to kind of see where all this additional training, where it comes from. It comes from where what we believe in is in the whole educator. So, and I don't know if Carol wants to say any more, or if there's any
The other thing
thought.
I would add, I think we have instituted sort of all hands on deck, full court press on ensuring that our district employed supervisors are part of professional development. They have been. Our record keeping was not as strong as it will be going forward. I assure you of that. Not an excuse, but an explanation. We really didn't have a great through line of transitioning some of that documentation when I took the position a year ago. But I can promise you that that will not be a concern going forward. And we are working especially closely with our university supervisors to ensure that they are working closely with our district employed supervisors to make sure ultimately that our candidates have a really truly educational experience in their school sites and are working with really well-trained and well-informed supervisors.
Thank you so much. Any other questions? This is an action item. Any other questions, or is that anyone able to make a motion?
Can I just make a quick comment?
A quick comment, yes.
Yes. Yeah, I was just going to say, so I run the ed specialist credential program, and I just wanted to say, I think a strength of ours at Notre Dame is the fact that we work in collaboration together. Like Carol and I, two different departments, but we intersect constantly, lift each other up, willing to take on each other's burdens or whatever from time to time. But I think we really are selecting great leaders who really embed the philosophy of NDNU. And so that makes me really proud, and I see it as a strength, and what's holding the program together so well.
Thank you. We appreciate you sharing that. It sounds like the glue of the program, which is amazing. So we're gonna, I think Member Campbell had a motion or a question.
Yes, no, I move to accept the accreditation report findings for the Notre Dame de Namur University.
You have a second? I have Member Sykes, and now we're going to move to, my apologies. Did we do public comment? Yes. You did? Okay, good. So we're moving so fast. We're going to go to a roll call vote. Thank you.
Allison Leggett.
Aye.
Augustin Cervantes.
Aye.
Ann Jones.
Aye.
Patrick McKee.
Aye.
Alan Hallis.
Aye.
Mike Hillis.
Aye.
Malika Bryant.
Aye.
Jay Sykes.
Aye.
Connie Campbell.
Aye.
Jessica Bogdanovich.
Aye.
Michelle Hall.
Aye.
Congratulations. It is unanimous. We wish you the absolute best as you move forward. And thank you so much, Dr. Vaughn, Dr. O'Neill, Dr. Parano, Dr. Cotard, Dr. Keller, Dr. De Los Santos. And we're going to move now back to item number 12. This is just an awareness for our committee on accreditation. We lose quorum at 3 o'clock, and we have a lengthy agenda still. So please, you're welcome to ask questions and deliberate as long as you need to, but the meeting does need to end at 3 o'clock, regardless of where we're at on the agenda. So with that in mind, we are navigating back to item number 12, which is going to my co-chair. Lead.
Right. Item 12 is the report of the accreditation site visit team to Santa Ana Unified School District. Is Hart going to be here?
I think they're getting them in right now. You can go, keep going.
Consultant Hart Boyd will introduce this item, and joining him today is team lead Hans Caulfield and institutional representatives Don Aguilac, program specialist, and Rosalia Rodriguez, department specialist. Does anybody need to recuse themselves? All right, Mr. Boyd, welcome. Will you begin, please?
Yep, thank you. Santa Ana Unified School District site visit took place from April the 20th through the 21st, 2026. The site visit was conducted virtually rather than in person, and a total of 149 interviews were completed with various constituencies, and the site visit proceeded in accordance with all normal accreditation protocols. The team at Santa Ana USD was great to work with, and they were all extremely proactive, thorough, and thoughtful in their preparation for the visit, and we are lucky to be joined by two of its members, Dawn and Roselia. Also joining us today is the site visits team lead, Hans. Hans is always fantastic to work with, and he was a very knowledgeable and thoughtful leader throughout the process. I would also like to thank team members Celia York, Gurley Hale, and Adrian Peralta for contributing their time and expertise to the visit. I'll stop now and turn it over to Hans, who will present the findings and the team's accreditation recommendation. Thank you.
Thank you, Hart. I would also just very briefly like to speak about the BIR team that I worked with throughout this process. Professional expertise, our teacher induction program reviewer, Adrian Peralta, just excellent. And then we were joined by Gurley Hale at the 11th hour right before, and really appreciated. She jumped right in. And then Celia York with Common Standards, each demonstrating thoughtfulness, conscientiousness, and dedication to the process. In addition, Hart Boyd, our CTC consultant, his guidance and insight was what we needed to hold the accreditation process to the highest standard. And then also his clarity, attention to detail really expedited the process for the team. And then finally, I do want to speak to the program leaders of Santa Ana Unified School District, Don, Brasilia, and then also Diana, along with our colleagues throughout instruction across the district. It was very clear that Santa Ana Unified, although a large district, is also very close-knit and very united on their goal for teacher and administrator preparation. And I want to just mention that as a team lead, the inclusion of a contextual presentation by Don and the team really helped. We really greatly appreciated it, as it was extremely organized, thoughtful, as well as the website that allowed us to do a lot of pre-work. Throughout the visit, the team recognized trends and patterns to support the description of Santa Ana Unified's induction programs as authentic practitioners of the cycle of inquiry. As mentioned in the institutional summary, leadership mirrors the reflective practices required of the candidates in both teacher and administrator induction. Evidence of this includes many recent programmatic enhancements that have resulted from feedback from candidates and then also educational partners. So with that, I would like to proceed to the findings of the team. And the team found that all program standards for the CASC program were met. All program standards for teacher induction met as well. And all common standards for Santa Ana Unified School District were found to be met. So our overall recommendation would be that there would be full accreditation. And I'll pass it back.
Thank you so much. We now invite the institution to provide some comments.
Hi, sure. First, I want to thank Hart and Hans, as well as the rest of our team, but they were just a pleasure to work with. They made the process easy and friendly. Roselia and I were undergoing a leadership transition when we began, and so their flexibility and understanding allowed us to stay focused on this process and not stress out over changes that were happening within our institution. We're also really fortunate. Despite some changes, we have a really strong, incredible group, as Hans alluded to, in our Teaching and Learning and Ed Services Department of leaders, our mentors, coaches, as well as our advisory board and our local cluster, our Orange County cluster. All of them help make our program what it is. Once we got to the site visit, we were super excited to look closely at the systems and get feedback from the team. And while their feedback affirmed many of our strengths, things that we value, like relationships, our mentoring and coaching structures, and the focus on continuous improvement, it also helped us to identify some refinements that will continue to make our program stronger moving forward. So I want to thank the committee and CTC for the thought and work that goes into our accreditation system here in California. As both a member of the BIR and as a program, I have found this process to be so valuable and supportive. I love the focus on continuous improvement and growth. So thank you.
Thank you. With that, we will move to see if there are any public comments for this item.
There are no public comments.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments from committee members? No? All right. This is an action item. Do I have a motion? Yes, Member Hall.
I move we approve the full accreditation for Santa Ana Unified School.
Do I have a second? Member Cervantes, thank you. We will now do a roll call vote. When called upon, indicate your vote with aye, no, or abstain. Staff, please call names.
Allison Leggett,
Aye.
Augustine Cervantes,
Aye.
Ann Jones,
Aye.
Patrick McKee,
Aye.
Ellen Hallis,
Aye.
Mike Hillis,
Aye.
Malika Bryant,
Aye.
Jay Sykes,
Aye.
Connie Campbell,
Aye.
Jessica Bogdanovich,
Aye.
Michelle Hall.
Aye.
All right, motions carry. Congratulations. Thank you, Ms. Aguilac, Ms. Rodriguez, Mr. Caulfield, and Mr. Boyd for joining us this afternoon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your hard work. We're going to move over to item number 13, which is a report of the accreditation site visit team to Antioch Unified School District. Administrator Miranda Gutierrez will present this item, and she's joined by her team lead, Kathy Fong, and institutional representatives, Tammy Eli Cofford, Teacher Induction Program Lead, Natasha Thomas, Coordinator, Educational Services. Will anyone be recusing themselves? No recusals, and we're just going to wait till we get our team here.
Kathy.
And those of you jumping in, thank you so much for your patience again this afternoon. We have Kathy here, Natasha, and Tammy. Ms. Gutierrez, do you want to begin?
Yeah, so this item is the site visit report to Antioch Unified School District. And as a reminder, this is one of the 3 site visit reports that is piloting the new templates. So you won't see the traditional program summary that you always do. It's a description of each program standard by standard. And so the team wrote about how the program is implementing each standard and their observations and impressions from the site visit. I just want to thank our review team for being open to trying the new pilot report template, as well as Tammy for allowing us to do it with her institution. And of course, just recognize the work of the team and the institution leading up to and during the site visit. And then just before I turn it over, one correction. Our team lead was actually Valerie Saylor, but she's out of the country right now. So Kathy Fong was our Common Standards reviewer and has agreed to give the report for us. So I'll go ahead and turn it over to her.
Good afternoon. Thank you very much. I'm Kathy Fong, as she said, and I was the Common Standard reviewer for the Antioch Unified School District accreditation site visit. And as you just heard, our team lead Valerie is out of the country, and so she asked me to cover for her. I would like to start by thanking Miranda, our state consultant. She was very organized and professional, and a great facilitator for the site visit. I would also like to thank the visit team who worked very well together, reviewing evidence prior to the site visit and conducting interviews with multiple constituency groups during the visit. And last but not least, thank you to Antioch USD team, especially their induction leader, Tammy Eli Coford. She is very well loved in the district. That came out in those interviews. And she made the visit run smoothly with evidence presented in advance of the visit. She also had a very organized schedule and well-run virtual interview spaces on Microsoft Teams. Everything ran very smoothly. During the visit, it was clear to the team that the Antioch USD Teacher Induction Program is an established program, providing meaningful support to their induction candidates through ongoing mentoring by well-trained mentors. Mentors provide both just-in-time support and collaborate with candidates to meet induction learning plan goals over time through cycles of inquiry to evidence growth in the California standards for the teaching profession. Candidates, mentors, principals, district admin, and others interviewed shared how the program has had a positive impact on the district in both teacher performance and teacher retention. Ongoing communication, both formal and informal, was a clear strength of the program. And the team found all common standards and all program standards to be met and unanimously recommend accreditation to the COA.
Thank you so much. We now invite our institutional representatives to briefly comment about the visit. We remind you it's not a time to dispute the team's report, but rather to provide any thoughts you have about this item. Anyone from the institution, would you like to share?
Hi, I just wanted to say that, the program was really, it was a wonderful program. I learned a lot, and I also got a lot of validation about our program from the visit. Miranda was exceptionally helpful as a consultant every step of the way. We were one of the programs, well, everyone, I guess, this year was one of the programs that kind of had like a bye year, which made it really interesting playing catch up and doing the things to update things for the visit, even though all the initial reports had been submitted. And so Miranda was really helpful in getting that accomplished seamlessly. And the team that we had visit was amazing, very, very good at communicating their needs and being very, very patient and thoughtful, and just, a really, really positive experience. I love our program. I've been involved with our program since 2000 in one way or another, from being a mentor to being on the advisory board before I was placed as a lead. And it's a really valuable program in our district, and it does lead to teacher retention. Not only that, but I have many of our completers who are like, when can I mentor? Which is like, wow. That's very, very heartfelt to hear that they had such a positive experience with their mentors. And all of our mentors are in-house teachers that do it in addition to their regular duties. We don't have any full-time release mentors. So just that they are making that kind of connection with their candidates is amazing. And it's amazing to see that the candidates want to, when they are eligible, also support new teachers.
Thank you so much. At this opportunity for public comment, do we have any public comment on this item?
There's no public comments.
Thank you, Ms. Bernardo. Any questions or comments from our committee members? Yeah, Member Campbell.
Yeah, I mean, with such a glowing report, it's hard to find anything to actually ask you about improvements. But I am curious, you just talked about your mentors, and it's clear in your write-up that you offer them training and that they seem to actually like it. So I just wondered what you thought about that, what that looks like, and why you think they're so positive about it.
We have an advisory board, and our advisory board, through surveys and also just being part of the district community, we really try to be thoughtful about, for lack of a better way of saying it, not wasting our time and not doing too much of like the same old every year. We're thoughtful about mentor training for adult learners, and we layer things that are important to remember every year, from how to support through the IOP, and also always talking about this is the likely phase that your new teacher's in, but you may be as well, and ways that they can support their candidate through the disillusionment phase, right, that comes around winter time, but also get through it themselves and how to help manage that. And so they really appreciate that we're thoughtful with seminars that are to the point. We don't keep them too long they're always after school. So we try to keep them at 2 hours or less. And we always have a concise agenda that is like, okay, this is where they are with the IOP. Here's some samples. Here's the way you may help them struggle through it. But also, these are some really important adult learning theories. We also put our mentors into cohorts, and we try to do that with like groups of like who they support or where they are, like, are they SPED or are PE, so that they get a chance to network and work with other mentors that work with candidates in similar teaching situations. So hopefully that keeps them interested.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? This is an action item. Does anyone have a motion? We have Member Hall.
Move to approve the accreditation for Antioch Unified School District.
We have a second from Member Cervantes. We'll now go to a roll call vote.
Ellison Leggett.
Aye.
Augustine Cervantes.
Aye.
Ann Jones.
Aye.
Patrick McKee.
Aye.
Ellen Hallis.
Aye.
Mike Hillis,
Aye.
Malika Bryant,
Aye.
Jay Sykes,
Aye.
Connie Campbell,
Aye.
Jessica Bogdanovich,
Aye.
Michelle Hall.
Aye.
Congratulations on the unanimous approval. We wish you all the best as you move forward, closing out the school year and starting up a new school year.
Thank you so much, Commission.
Thank you
Have a
so much.
wonderful day.
Have a
Thank
great rest of your week. And for our committee members, I'm going to pass this over to my co-chair to item number 16.
All right, jumping back to item 16, it's the discussion of the 6-month report from Fairfield-Suisun.
Oh, I was wrong.
I just said fast.
Yeah, well, we don't know how to say it in Southern California. Last meeting I said it correctly, which is why my memory's going.
The Unified School Districts consultant, Dr. Rosemary Wren and Dr. Elizabeth De Los Santos will present this item. Joining them today are institutional representatives, Dr. Melissa Farrer, Director, Curriculum Instruction and Assessment, and Kristen Warsaw, Coordinator of Educational Services. Does anybody need to recuse themselves? Member Sykes? Anyone else? All right, Dr. Wren, will you begin, please?
Good afternoon, committee members. This item presents the 6-month report for Fairfield-Suisun Unified School District for your review. The FSUSD site visit was held in December 2025, and at the January 2026 COA meeting, the committee accepted the team's recommendation of accreditation with stipulations. At the time of the visit, the team found 3 common standards less than fully met, which centered on ensuring that the induction program faculty and staff regularly and systematically collaborate with outside constituencies, continuous improvement, as well as an update required for a job description. Since the January meeting, FSUSD has established and convened an advisory body comprised of members across relevant constituencies, enacted new practices based on the meetings so far, developed a schedule for future meetings, and has reinforced structures for continuous improvement. They also worked with their board to update the job description to include all statutory requirements. I will now turn it over to Melissa Farrar, who will share with you in more detail about the steps FSUSD has taken in response to the site visit report and its plans for the coming year.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dr. Melissa Farrar, and I serve as the director of the Fairfield-Suisun Unified School District Teacher Induction Program. Thank you for the opportunity to provide this update regarding the stipulations identified during our accreditation visit and the progress we have made over the past 6 months. I am pleased to report that we have taken significant steps to address each of the identified stipulations and to strengthen the overall quality and sustainability of our induction program. The first stipulation focused on ensuring that faculty and instructional personnel regularly and systematically collaborate with P12 partners, higher education institutions, and other educational partners in the organization, coordination, and decision-making process for our induction program. To address this requirement, we expanded our induction advisory board to include representatives from Grand Canyon University, UC Davis, Napa County Office of Education's induction program, and both elementary and secondary site administrators from Fairfield-Suisun Unified. The advisory board now serves as a formal structure for gathering feedback, reviewing program data, discussing program improvements, and participating in key decision-making processes. We also established a process in which early completion options approvals are reviewed through the advisory board, ensuring broader stakeholder involvement in program decisions. The second stipulation focused on providing evidence that faculty and instructional personnel qualifications reflect current knowledge of content, California educational context, diversity and equity, and effective professional practice. To address this requirement, we collaborated closely with our Human Resources Department to revise the job description for personnel supporting the induction program. The revised language explicitly reflects the qualifications outlined in the common standards. This updated job description was formally approved by our governing board on March 19th, 2026, ensuring alignment between commission expectations and district hiring and retention practices. The third stipulation focused on developing and implementing a comprehensive continuous improvement process that uses data and stakeholder input to evaluate program effectiveness and guide program modifications. In response, we developed a formal continuous improvement cycle and established clear structures for data review and action planning. Our advisory board now regularly analyzes multiple data sources, including candidate surveys, mentor surveys, administrator feedback, induction seminar evaluations, and exit interview data. During our February advisory board meeting, members reviewed mid-year survey results and provided recommendations for program improvements and methods for evaluating program impact. Based on this feedback, we formalized our exit interview process and worked collaboratively with consulting teachers to revise interview questions so that evidence of both teacher growth and student outcomes is captured. Advisory board members now participate directly in exit interview panels, creating an additional feedback loop between stakeholders and program leadership. To further strengthen communication and transparency, we created several tools and resources, including an advisory board infographic, a continuous improvement cycle infographic, and regularly update our quarterly induction newsletter to district and site administrators. Advisory board members also reviewed and provided feedback on our candidate handbook and other program resources. During our end-of-year induction retreat, the teacher induction team developed an ILP rubric that more explicitly embeds evidence of student outcomes within the inquiry cycle process. This work strengthens our ability to demonstrate program impact on both teacher practice and student learning, and provides a more consistent framework for evaluating candidate growth and evidence of student learning throughout the induction experience. As part of our continuous improvement process, the rubric will be shared with our advisory board for review and feedback to ensure alignment with program goals, stakeholder expectations, and the district's mission of preparing educators to support students' success and positive impact in the global community. Overall, the work completed over the past 6 months has resulted in stronger stakeholder engagement, clearer professional qualification structures, and more systematic continuous improvement processes. We believe these actions align directly with the Commission's stipulations and position our program for continued growth and success. Thank you.
Thank you for providing all of that information and all the progress, excuse me, the progress that you've made within 6 months. That's very impressive. We will now go to public comments. Are there any public comments?
There are no public comments.
Thank you. Does the committee members have any questions or comments? All right, this is an action item. May I have a motion? Yes, Member Hall, or Jones, I'm sorry.
I move that we accept the 6-month report from Fairfield-Suisun Unified School District.
Thank you, Member Jones. Do I have a second? Member Hall? I was looking that way and talking that way.
In the future.
Oh, thank you. We will now do a roll call vote. When called upon, indicate your vote with aye, no, or abstain. Staff, please call names.
Allison Leggett.
Aye.
Augustin Cervantes.
Aye.
Ann Jones.
Aye.
Patrick McKee.
Aye.
Alan Hallis.
Aye.
Mike Hillis.
Aye.
Malika Bryant.
Aye.
Connie Campbell.
Aye.
Jessica Bogdanovich.
Aye.
Michelle Hall.
Aye.
Well, the motion carries. Thank you, Dr. Farrar, Ms. Warsaw, Dr. De Los Santos, and Dr. Wren for joining us this afternoon. We will now move to item 17 with my co-chair McKee.
Item 17 is the actions taken to address stipulations for CSU East Bay. Consultant Hart Boyd will be presenting this item. Joining him today are institutional representatives Peg Winkleman, Interim Associate Dean, Graduate School of Education. Will anybody recuse themselves on this item? None, no recusal. Excellent. So, and thank you, Peg, for joining us today with all of our activities and your patience as well. Mr. Boyd, if you could please begin.
Yep. Agenda item 17 discusses the actions taken by California State University East Bay to address stipulations from their April 2025 site visit. A 6-month progress report was presented to and accepted by the COA at its January 2026 meeting. In this agenda item and the corresponding report provided by CSU East Bay, you'll find the steps taken to address the 7 stipulations that resulted from the site visit. Based on the information provided to commission staff and the actions taken by the institution and its educator preparation programs, staff is recommending that this report be accepted and to remove all stipulations and change CSU East Bay's status from accreditation with stipulations to full accreditation. As mentioned previously, the School of Education's Interim Associate Dean, Peg Winkleman, is here today to address any questions you may have. Thank you.
Thank you, Hart. So we now invite our institutional representative to briefly comment on the report. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. On behalf of the Graduate School of Education, the College of Letters, Arts, and Social Science, and the California State University East Bay community, I want to thank the Accreditation Visitation Team, the CTC Staff Leadership Team, Sherry, Hart, Francis, and Commission for providing a well-considered report, guiding our work, and asking important questions this year. The most recent question we received was, will the structures we've established and the practices we've developed this year continue? So I'm here to say yes. Right. CSUEB's reimagining of the Graduate School of Education has taken on a life of its own. We see this evidenced in the Advising Future Teachers Task Force, which includes the STEM director, associate deans, and faculty from colleges across the university. Aspiring Educators Club with faculty advisors, undergraduate and graduate students, the College Collaboration Outreach Committee, the Graduate School of Education and class department chair meetings, and the Graduate School of Education Strategic Planning Committee, who, along with 3 stellar, I believe, Shadi Rochandel, chair of the Department of Teacher Education, is listening, as well as Dean O'Neill, came together to plan for the Graduate School of Education Pathways and Career Fair event, which offered opportunities for school districts to deeply, actively engage with CSUEB undergraduate students, Alameda County paraprofessionals, current graduate students, program graduates, program coordinators, department chairs, the provost dean, interim associate dean, and the credential student services team. This will be continued. At the end of the year, in a cross-education department program session on May 6th, we heard something we rarely hear. Faculty want to gather more frequently next year to share district partnership work, grant work, research, and professional development. The BA in Education was mentioned earlier today. Not only have the number of CSU EB credential candidates increased, we started this summer, more undergraduate students have enrolled in TED 301 and 302 courses, which are designed to offer an overview of education, facilitate meaningful volunteer work in schools, and support the application process to graduate programs of their choice. In fact, recently, there is a wait list for fall TED 301 course, which necessitated the opening of yet another section. Thank you.
Thank you so much for being present today to be able to share that information with us, and an opportunity now for any public comment on the item. Do we have any, Ms. Bruno?
There are no public comments.
This is an opportunity now for any questions or comments from our committee members. Member Cervantes?
Yeah, no, kudos and just the navigation, call it institutional change. You all have done a tremendous amount of work in that, from having your College of Education get swallowed into another college to then being the faculty taking this proactive stance to designate a graduate school of education from within. More than that, also looking at that not as like, why did they take this autonomy away from us, but can we find it within ourselves and with each other? And also to then strategically position yourself to start to find undergraduate to credential pathways. So just commending you on all of that, the leadership it took, the vision it took. And so looking back, really the question, galvanizing faculty is hard. I've worked at the CSU, and so my question comes from a place of curiosity. Was it the duress that sort of pushed you all to sort of come together, or were there other things that continue to come forth? Because I saw that it also paid dividends in your outwardly community relations, county office of education partnerships, et cetera. So maybe I like stories. And if real quick, at the very least, how did you get the faculty to really come together in a coordinated structure, bring programs and services back, and to give you the identity again of a graduate school of education, which we know matters tremendously, and campuses that many times toggle with the difficulty of understanding. They get what we do, but many times it's a reductive lens. Like, oh, y'all prepare teachers. That's all you got to do, and you're there in the corner. Anyway, sorry, I rambled a little bit.
No, I think you got to it. I think it was a de-siloing, right? So what we saw in the report is our programs were already strong, right? I mean, with minor pieces that could be adjusted that nobody had. But meeting with folks starting last summer and really talking through what they were doing and then bringing those pieces together, not just across programs in department meetings, but also in our listening sessions and in all of these other ways with the strategic planning committee, right? It became our work. So instead of looking at this, and I really do credit our faculty as a compliance issue, we came together and looked at it as, we know we're serving, and we haven't, two things we haven't done. I don't know that we've communicated, to your point, right? So really making ourselves visible. And we haven't provided enough structures where we hear from the work of one another. And so that was on May 6th, I was blown away. Like, faculty never say, can we meet more? It was because those meetings were intentional. Right? We were talking about the work that matters to us and the students that matter, and our students are shared. So our earlier, I think it was Cal State, Long Beach was talking about their doc program. Our doc program graduates are now assistant superintendents in the area. They are with us. And when we talk about this work, we like to call them practitioners, right? Because they have a theoretical grounding beyond just the work in the field. So when they all come together, there's an excitement. And on the day that I didn't get to tell you about in January, because it hadn't happened yet, on March 21st, people weren't leaving. People are making so many connections across districts, across programs, and continuing conversations with paraprofessionals, et cetera, so that I think we were talking kind of as we were walking about helping students see themselves in education, right? It was all there. We saw them, they saw us. There wasn't a them. It was just, oh, what do we all care about? So that's where we are.
Thank you. Any other questions? Quick reminder is an action item. If there are no other questions, we can also move to a motion. So up to all of you, questions or a possible motion. Then Member Jones.
Motion? No question?
No other questions. You can do a motion.
Okay. I move that we accept this report and the recommendation to remove stipulations, changing the finding from accreditation with stipulations to accreditation for Cal State Obispo.
We have a second on that. I see Member Cervantes, and now we'll do a roll call vote. When you called upon, please indicate either aye or abstain. Staff, go ahead and call names.
Allison Leggett,
Aye.
Augustin Cervantes,
Aye.
Ann Jones,
Aye.
Patrick McKee,
Aye.
Alan Hallis,
Aye.
Mike Hillis,
Aye.
Malika Bryant,
Aye.
Jay Sykes,
Aye.
Connie Campbell,
Aye.
Jessica Bogdanovich,
Aye.
Michelle Hall.
Aye.
Unanimous. Congratulations on your full accreditation. We appreciate your hard work, your dedication. Thank you for uniting your faculty on this endeavor. So we're going to move over to item number 18. This takes us back as a continuation from item number 5. We have 5 institutions that we are going to navigate through right now. Beginning with item number 18 is a 4th institution adding an intern pathway to an existing preliminary administrative services credential or PASS program for Sacramento County Office of Education. And joining us today are Shanine Coates, Executive Director, School of Education, Dr. Tiara Gardner, Director, School of Education, and Kristen Coyle, Director for the School of Education. Are there anyone recusing themselves on this item? We have Member Campbell. With that, this is an opportunity for, do we have any public comments on this item before we move forward?
There are no public comments.
So now it's an opportunity from the institution. If there's anything you'd like to share about your new program. Oh, and this is the, you can find it on number 5. It's the Sacramento County Office of Education PASS program with an intern pathway. So,
And this is, they already have an existing PASS program, so they're just adding the intern for this one and the next one, just to clarify.
thank you. Perfect. So would the institution want to share anything briefly?
Yes, please. Thank you so much. Good afternoon, Chair and members of the committee. Thank you for the opportunity to present today. My name is Shanine Coates, Executive Director, and I am joined by 2 directors, Kristen Coyle and Tiara Gardner from the Sacramento County Office of Education, School of Education. First, we would just like to express our appreciation for your continued partnership and support. We were recently before you for the approval of our bilingual authorization credential, and we are grateful for that approval and for the ongoing support of the committee and our superintendent, Dave Gordon, as we continue to expand pathways to serve educators and school communities. Today, we are excited to present our proposed Administrative Services Intern Credential Program, building upon the strength of our preliminary administrative services credential program, which recently received 7 years of accreditation. This pathway is designed to address a growing need among our local districts for aspiring leaders who are already serving in administrative positions. The program maintains the same rigorous coursework and expectations as our traditional program and remains fully aligned with the CAPES, fieldwork requirements, and the Cal APA, ensuring that all candidates develop the knowledge, skills, and dispositions needed for effective leadership. Candidates admitted to the intern pathway will participate in an interview process and must have district collaboration and recommendation, along with verification of at least 5 years of teaching or other qualifying experience. In partnership with the employing district, a highly qualified site supervisor will be selected and trained to understand the CAPES and all program requirements to ensure consistent support and alignment throughout the candidate's experience. To provide enhanced support for our interns, each candidate will be assigned a SCOE faculty intern advisor who will serve as a leadership coach throughout the program. The advisor, candidate, and site supervisor will participate in an initial triad meeting to establish goals and expectations. Following each course, the triad will reconvene to discuss leadership growth, reflect on progress, and identify areas of focus. In addition, the faculty intern advisor and candidate will meet regularly throughout the year to provide ongoing guidance and support. Throughout the program, the faculty intern advisor provides integrated support across coursework, fieldwork, and Cal PA development, ensuring that candidates are successful not only in completing program requirements, but also in becoming effective instructional leaders for their schools and communities. Our commitment to candidate success extends to the Cal APA process as well. We are proud of our strong Cal APA passage rates and have intentionally embedded Cal APA supports and related preparation within our coursework to strengthen leadership practice. Candidates also receive additional support through dedicated Cal APA workshops, office hours, and peer collaboration opportunities. Again, thank you for your consideration of this proposed pathway. We appreciate the opportunity to continue serving the leadership needs of the Capital Region and are here to answer any questions.
Thank you so much. Do we have any committee members who would like to ask any questions of the institution or any comments? This is also an action item if any committee members would like to make a motion. Yeah, Member Hall.
I move we recommend the intern pathway to the existing preliminary administrative services credential for Sacramento County Office of Education. I'm sorry, for Sacramento County.
Yes.
Right. Did I say it right? Okay.
You're correct. And we have a second from Member Leggett. And then we'll do a roll call vote. Staff, please call names.
Allison Leggett.
Aye.
Gustin Cervantes.
Aye.
Ann Jones.
Aye.
Patrick McKee.
Aye.
Ellen Hallis.
Aye.
Mike Hillis.
Aye.
Malika Bryant.
Aye.
Jay Sykes.
Aye.
Jessica Bogdanovich.
Aye.
And Michelle Hall.
Aye.
Congratulations. This is a unanimous decision. We wish you the absolute best as you move your intern pathway forward. Job well
Thank you
done.
so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you to each of you and your hard work. Our next program we're going to be looking at is similar to what Ms. Hickey said a moment ago. It's an intern pathway to the existing PASS program. This time at Shasta County Office of Education, and joining us to answer any questions we may have is Ryan Miller, who's the director of the Shasta Leadership Academy. Will there be any recusals on this item? There are none. Are there any public comments on this item?
There are no public comments.
All right, thank you so much. Do we have any of our representatives? Well, Mr. Miller, would you like to share anything briefly about your program?
Yeah, I just want to thank everyone there from the commission on just taking a look at our program, and want to give just huge kudos to the commission staff that I've been able to work with, not only for this intern credential, but also we're going through an accreditation cycle. And I am in my second year running this program, and accreditation and new programs can be an intimidating thing, but the commission staff has done an amazing job. Both Hart and Kiyomi have worked with me, and it's been just a pleasure to work with commission staff. So this proposal is for our intern, adding an intern credential to our existing PASC program. We are an in-person PASC program, so a preliminary administrative service credential. We serve a very large geographic area because we not only serve our county and Shasta County, but also a lot of our neighboring geographic counties as well. But it's a very small rural area. So geographically large, population very small. A big focus of ours as we move forward with this intern credential is being able to serve our districts and schools who need administrators. The administrator shortage is very real in rural areas. And we want to help those neighboring counties, districts, and schools put quality administrators in positions. So folks that are showing that leadership capability, putting them in intern positions, but not only putting them in an intern position, but supporting them through that position. So very similar to Sacramento County, we will be providing mentorship, enhanced mentorship hours. All of our interns will be following the same preliminary administrative service credential coursework, Cal APA supports. We really stress our level of support we give our candidates through both the coursework and the Cal APA. We have extremely high Cal APA pass rate because we support our candidates through. But also with these interns, we want them to have those job embedded practices be solid. So we are partnering with our both faculty and highly qualified site level mentors to work on a consistent basis, being able to work through the California Administrative administrative performance expectations, or CAPEs. So really a lot of review and reflection each time they're completing a course and going through these CAPEs and how they can apply the CAPEs to the jobs that they're doing as interns. So very excited for this opportunity, and it's something that our districts and schools have been asking for up here because of the administrator shortage. And we want to make sure that we're not just filling that shortage and filling those positions, but putting people in positions where they can be successful and really be change agents for positive change for our students.
Thank you so much for preparing a program to meet the needs of the communities you serve. It's an opportunity for our committee members if there are any questions you'd like to ask. This is an action item. Do we have a motion, Member Cervantes?
Motion that we have an interim pathway to an existing preliminary administrative services credential program for Shasta County Office of Education.
Do we have a second to Member Hall? And we will go now into a roll call vote. If staff could please call names.
Allison Leggett,
Aye.
Augustin Cervantes,
Aye.
Ann Jones,
Aye.
Patrick McKee,
Aye.
Alan Hallis,
Aye.
Mike Hillis,
Aye.
Malika Bryant,
Aye.
Jay Sykes,
Aye.
Connie Campbell,
Aye.
Jessica Bogdanovich,
Aye.
Michelle Hall.
Aye.
Congratulations. Motion carries unanimously. We wish you the very best as you move this program forward.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for your hard work and dedication. And I'm going to pass the meeting now over to my co-chair.
Great. The sixth institution is PK3ECE Specialist Instruction Credential with Traditional Student Teaching and Intern Pathways at California State University, East Bay. Joining us today from California State University, East Bay to answer any questions you might have are Dr. Valerie Helgren, Olympus. Tanya Byram and Grace Mace. Do we have any recusals for this item?
Not the mute button.
Are there any public comments?
There are no public comments.
Thank you. We would now like to invite the institution to share any brief sorry, it's distracting. Any information about their programs that they'd like to share.
They could check that they're muted. That would be helpful. Okay, thank you.
So the CSU Department of Teacher Education is proud of its long-standing relationship.
I think if you could pause a moment, the person speaking maybe in a room where someone else's microphone's on, we have an echo.
Somebody echoing, or is it just me?
Just you. I'm sorry. If you all are in the same room though, and anybody else has a speaker or a microphone on,
I do not.
you have
Lori, do you have it on two places?
Two places, yeah.
I have it on in.
So just for the sake of time, is there someone else from the institution who would like to speak on behalf of the institution?
Shadi, I handed it to you.
You should be.
If you mute yours and talk, you can probably still hear her.
Sounds like you're unmuted. Go ahead.
Hi, thank you so much. My name is Shadi Rashandal. I'm the department chair for teacher education. These are the words of Valerie, so I really want to make sure I acknowledge that piece. The CSU East Bay Department of Teacher Education is proud of its long-standing relationship with the field of early childhood education, which had allowed us to collaborate with stakeholders from human development and liberal studies departments, 4 local community colleges, local early childhood agencies, 2 county offices of education, local school administrators, teachers from the field, and potential students. We are grateful for the support and collective wisdom gained in our journey. Our program highlights include the following. The PK3 Early Childhood Education Specialist Instruction Credential Program is completed over 3 semesters, summer, fall, and spring. The program prepares teacher candidates to provide developmentally appropriate learning experiences for children from preschool through 3rd grade. Coursework includes PK3 teaching methods, educational psychology, English learner instruction, diversity, and special education support. Students participate in cohort-based learning through online, hybrid, and on-campus Saturday classes while completing their student teaching or intern experiences. Candidates receive ongoing support from advisors, faculty, university supervisors, and mentor teachers as they work through earning their PK3 teaching credential. Thank you.
Thank you for that. At this time, do we have any committee members with any questions or comments? All right, this is an action item. Do I have a motion?
I have a question.
Member Joe?
It's a question. Can I ask a question? I was wondering if your PK3 candidates would have access to your residency pathway.
Ronnie, do you want me to speak to that? We haven't, so currently, ideally, yes, we haven't had anybody ask for the pathway yet, but given our strong partnerships across with our multiple and single subject programs, we're hopeful. We do have a lot of interest from interns in the field, so I anticipate that will hopefully create a new pathway for us.
Thank you.
Thank you, Member Campbell. Sorry about that. I didn't see your hand. We need to be 360 around it. All right. Are there any other comments or questions? All right, now do I have a motion? Member Jones?
I move that we approve California State University East Bay to offer a PK3 ECE specialist instruction credential with traditional student teaching and intern pathways.
Thank you. Do I have a second? Member Campbell, thank you. We will now go to roll call vote. Staff, if you could please call names.
Allison Leggett,
Aye.
Augustin Cervantes,
Aye.
Ann Jones,
Aye.
Patrick McKee,
Aye.
Ellen Hellis,
Aye.
Mike Hillis,
Aye.
Malika Bryant,
Aye.
Jay Sykes,
Aye.
Connie Campbell,
Aye.
Jessica Bogdanovich,
Aye.
Michelle Hall.
Aye.
All right, the motion carries. Congratulations, and thank you for being here this afternoon and sharing your inspirations with us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. We're going to the 7th institution, which is also a PK3 ECE specialist instruction credential with traditional student teaching pathways at Humphreys University. Joining us today from Humphreys University to answer any questions we might have is Matt Reynolds, Provost Dean of Law School, and Carrie Reidenhauer, Credential Programs Administrator. Do we have any recusals on this item? All right. Are there any public comments?
There are no public comments.
All right. Does the institution wish to briefly share any thoughts or comments, information?
Yes, we do. Also joining us today, we have Dr. Donna Roberts. She is one of our associate deans, and she is the department chair for Early Childhood Education Department at our school. So I just wanted to welcome her as well. And on behalf of Humphreys University, I want to thank Dr. Wren. She's been very helpful, dedicated, supportive to us in our journey through this process. And the entire team that we had, they had dedicated support to us and guided us through this. So today we're happy to be here, and Humphreys University proposes to offer a PK3 Early Childhood Education Specialist Instruction Credential Program via a traditional student teaching pathway. The program will prepare candidates to design, implement, and assess developmentally appropriate, culturally responsive, and linguistically diverse instruction from preschool to grade 3. To maximize student accessibility, this credential will be structured as both a standalone post-baccalaureate preliminary pathway and also an integrated track within our Bachelor of Arts degree in early childhood education. So this allows our undergraduate majors to complete pre-service coursework directly within their early childhood education degree. The curriculum and integrated clinical practices will be strictly aligned with the PK3 teacher performance expectations, universal design for learning, and multiple tiered systems of support, and of course, foundational literacy. Candidates' readiness will be verified through multiple measures, including course-embedded signature assignments, clinical evaluations, and required performance assessments. The program will use structured, individualized support from faculty advisors, university supervisors, and active field experience instructors so that candidates will be prepared for day one classroom success. This 40-unit program features flexible quarterly enrollment and is intentionally designed to address the critical shortage of qualified early childhood educators in the Central Valley and across California. It primarily serves working adults, non-traditional students, and current ECE professionals through accessible evening online instruction. By leveraging our deep-rooted partnerships in local school districts, the program plans to deliver a high-quality, accessible pathway to student credentialing, to state credentialing. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you. All right, committee members, are there any questions or comments for the institution? Member Campbell.
Yeah, I was wondering how much of the credential coursework candidates will be able to experience during their BA degree.
So once they, and Dr. Roberts can expand on this as well, once they are in their junior and senior status, they can start taking the credentialing courses, starting with their pre-service coursework for student teaching. Dr. Roberts, is there anything you'd like to add to that?
Yeah, so they'll have a strong background in their general education requirements, getting those completed, and then a set of core ECE courses to help build a framework of understanding to move them forward and prepare them for those credential courses in that concentration.
Thank you.
Great, thank you. Are there any other questions or comments? This is an action item. May I have a motion by a committee member? Member Spontes?
Yeah, motion to approve the PK3 ECE Specialist Instruction Credential with Traditional Student Teaching Pathway for Humphreys University.
Thank you. Do I have a second? Member Hall? We will now do a roll call vote. Staff, please call our names.
Allison Leggett.
Aye.
Augustin Cervantes.
Aye.
Ann Jones.
Aye.
Patrick McKee.
Aye.
Helen Hallis.
Aye.
Mike Hillis.
Aye.
Malika Bryant.
Aye.
Ray Sykes.
Aye.
Connie Campbell.
Aye.
Jessica Bogdanovich.
Aye.
Michelle Hall.
Aye. All right, motion carries. Thank you and congratulations.
Thank you.
Best of luck on your early childhood.
Thank you.
We have a note from Rosemary Wren, who's not on here, and as you know, she's one of the IPR people and particularly works on PK3. So she wanted you all to know that these last two programs have been working on these programs for almost 3 years now. So
Wow.
really dedicated work. So
Wonderful.
Thank you. She's been a big help.
We are going to skip the 8th institution and move to item number 20 with Co-Chair McKee.
Yeah.
yeah.
You
guys voted on that last one, right?
Yes, we did.
Sorry.
So yeah, no, we're navigating, keeping in the right direction. I appreciate that. So on item number 20. Oh, and by the way, Santa Clara County Office of Education will be on August's meeting. So item number 20 is the discussion of potential approval of new accreditation site visit program standards report template. Administrator Miranda Gutierrez, the consultants Dr. Sarah Solari Colombini, and Christina Najarro will present this item. So Ms. Gutierrez.
And remember, we have a hard stop at 3, just to. Thank you all for being so good.
So as you've heard today, we brought 3 reports with 2 pilot templates. Both Simpson and Antioch use the report template, what we're calling template 1 in the item. That included the narrative standard by standard, and then the report for San Luis Obispo County Office of Education included a template that more mirrors the Common Standards report. So for today, we'd like you to have a discussion and share your impressions on the templates so that we can gather some feedback. This is an action item, and we would like action today as we're beginning BIR training next month. And so we'd like to be able to provide any updated report in the training. And you'll also note that in the action, we're recommending, we also ask for some flexibility to make any updates, not any, but to make some updates and changes as needed once we begin implementing the report, should you adopt a new one today. And again, I'll just share that I did the report standard by standard with the Antioch Unified School District, and both the institution and the team found it extremely helpful and provided more clarity about how they saw their program and how they were able to write about it. Their peer review process that the team does the last night of the site visit went well, and there really weren't a lot of questions or feedback to make updates on the report because everything came through so clearly for them. So that was my experience with the report, and I want to also give Sarah and Christine an opportunity to share.
Okay, I'll go next because I did the same I used the same template that Miranda used, and it was we had an experienced reviewer. So this is someone who's experienced, where we write program summary, course of study, assessment of candidates, and then a finding. Right, that's the structure of the program reports. And she really liked the idea of it's similar to Common Standards, where you write standard 1, 2, 3, 4, as you've seen 2 of them now. So very good positive feedback, and the institution was equally accepting, complimentary of it. So I know we have time. So
yes, the team for San Luis Obispo also really liked the streamlining of the new template. Now, with our site visit, the team, both of the program reviewers were new. So they didn't quite have experience to compare to. However, the team lead and the Common Standards reviewer are both very experienced, and they both strongly, as you heard Rhonda share in her presentation today, they both really liked reading through the report. They felt like there was less repetition than in some induction only reports that they've participated in before. So it's feedback I have to share.
So we'd like to open it up for you for some discussion or feedback on what we might do moving forward.
I personally really liked seeing the multiple and single subject together in template 1. I think that was the first time.
And member sites.
The one used by San Luis Obispo, I liked how it was broken down, and we could kind of see like within the standard, the elements and what was met. My only question that raised was like, would that make, I don't want to say a confusing process for the program being reviewed, but is it clear to the program being reviewed that they're still being reviewed holistically on that standard? In other words, if there's a certain portion that's, inconsistent or not yet met, is that factored in as you're looking at the entire standard? So that's the only part that it raised for me. And overall, in being able to read the report and seeing it sort of side by side like that, I felt like it was much more streamlined and much more clear and easier to follow, and thus provide the program feedback and understand where the program's at.
I will say, because that was a good question, is that all of the standards were met on San Luis Obispo's in the programs, but the template is designed where, kind of like with Common Standards, if there is a met with concerns or a not met, then there would be a paragraph specific right under the standard, that table with the standard language. So it just wasn't present because of this. Yeah.
I agree just with my colleagues. It was so much easier to read their reports. And so I put them side by side. And it was great that they all had positive reports, but that was the same thing, like, well, what if it wasn't positive? What would happen there? Not that we wanted that to happen on the template. But I appreciate the streamlining anything. And this was a great review, in my opinion. Member Jones.
I echo what Jay said almost exactly. And I actually really liked the nuance of seeing all of the elements with consistent, but then there's that one inconsistent, but that's just like, FYI, it's not raising to the level of even met with concerns. It's just, so you can kind of get a little more granular without doing a ton more work. And I like that.
Number 6.
Okay, to build up on what you just shared, I think it also helps that the program being reviewed kind of fine tune, like, okay, there's an area to focus in on, like as they look at their cycle of continuous improvement. So even if that whole standard's met, they can go, oh, within that standard, here's something we might want to put our attention on for future years.
Without pressure.
Exactly.
Just
Yeah.
look at this.
Member Bryant.
So just to add to the conversation, a lot of you have already kind of said what I was thinking, but I really liked the template that I like them both, but I think there might be a place to kind of merge the two of them a little bit. And that if you take the structure of San Luis Obispo and then have a very short 1 or 2 sentence summary at the bottom of the standard, for because there's such a narrative for each of each element of the standard in the other two, which ends up being a lot of information. But if there's some type of small summary at the bottom, and then if there's met with concerns or anything above that, or if it's inconsistent, then there's a little bit more of a narrative there below that's explaining information, because the one piece that's missing in the template with San Luis Obispo, if there's not any narrative, is the information that helped the team come to that conclusion. So I feel like there's a space to combine the two without creating additional work, but providing clarity.
Member Hall.
I agree, and I think I was the last one, at least on this committee, to actually do a program review, and I can tell you from the reviewer's perspective, that looked much easier, much cleaner, and much more swiftly moving along, more likely to get you more program reviewers.
Yes.
That's a good point.
My comment was gonna be on that, like, how can this be a carrot? And also, my next question would be for staff straight up, like, what would facilitate your work? Because in my opinion, staff ends up carrying the water, so to speak. Even if you have other folks involved, it's like you all would want an infrastructure that helps you help them do the job, so to speak. I mean, you asked me, I like template 2. Greater transparency and consistency, common standard format. I'm fine with like what always speaks to me as like the overall narrative summary, so that we don't lose the broader story of the program. I like that. It's one of my likes, but overall it's like what helps you do the job faster or better.
I appreciate you adding the piece about not missing out on something, because that's sometimes it's hard to know. Are we missing something until you get to the report where you're like, oh, I don't have a space for this. You know, did we just write out a space or something? So thinking about it that way, streamlining is great. Certainly making it easy to use, but still really clear and not missing any of the critical pieces, I think would be the most important parts. I'm sorry, Maki, I cut you off.
No, you're fine. I just went back and looked at after Member Bryant said that, and that it is neat having a bit of narrative. And I didn't have that perspective, but is there something that the staff prefers? Because the staff went through the whole process, like, and everyone's smiling, so I don't know if there's a different perspective, but
Different staff have different feelings. I think some people would love for it to just be some check boxes, but I with all the work that the institutions go through to prepare for these, and really the depth of the work by the reviewers and by staff, and how critical the work of accreditation is, I think check boxes would be a little too streamlined.
Certainly understood. I'm going to take the voice for the rest of the consultants, kind of what we heard. And I think Miranda, chime in, please, because you know too, they've come to you too. And I think they appreciate that the checkbox mentality is probably not, it doesn't honor and recognize the work that's done out in the field. Absolutely. But I want to, what was mentioned over here on my left was that, you know, we really like it because it's aligned to the program standard, just like Common Standard 1. So we have not yet modified the program review instructions. So think about, so yes, that probably would be a nice next step, right? And Miranda, I'm sure, is on this because she's dealt with program review quite a bit. But that would be lovely if programs in preparation for, instead of, they're preparing artifacts and links to this and that, and they could also address program standard 1, 2, 3, whatever, however many program standards there are. So I think that is the concern of some consultants are like, well, how fast, how quickly can we then have program review instructions mirror? Because what you're seeing is the report. You're seeing the site visit report based on data, accreditation data and artifacts and evidence that's submitted by the institution. So Miranda, you want to?
Yeah,
I
no,
don't want to throw you in.
No, yeah, what you're saying is absolutely right, because we know programs are working on their institutions are working on their program review right now. So we wouldn't want to change the instructions on them as they're working through that. But all before the site visit, we always have them update their program summaries. So maybe we change the instructions on what they provide for a program summary. But something for us to think about for sure.
Well, and I think I will say that everything that I've heard from staff members, they're definitely in favor of streamlining. I heard an overwhelming sense of appreciating either one of these versus the traditional version.
Wondering if Malika's suggestion of kind of a little bit of this and a little bit of that, because that's actually where I like them both, and they're just slightly different. But I'm wondering whether it would be okay if we figured out what that might look like. The problem is that we do have BIR training in July, and your next meeting is not till August, which is a problem for this discussion. But
Only because we'd like to be able to train the volunteers on the template that we'll be using, but
But
any
any
of them would be
the
fine.
template? Is that the concern?
I think we want your feedback, certainly. There's no rule that you have to approve it, but I think we wanted to bring it to you to make sure that you felt comfortable with the reports that had come to you today, and just kind of. And we added the piece, as Miranda said earlier, about giving us a little bit of wiggle room so that if we said, oh, this is not working, we need to tweak it just like this, that we have that ability to do that in the first couple of, site visits. But we'd like to start using them this fall with the site visits coming up this fall. So.
Member Jones?
So I think it sounds like nobody's saying, no, we like the old ones way better.
Right.
Exactly.
That's
And it is an action item. And we have some, I like this, I like that, maybe I like a hybrid. Would it help if someone made a motion to say, we like both of these, you can go and tweak them and go forth with your BIR in July with what you come up with?
Yeah, so or like
Yeah.
we approve the use of new report templates, knowing that it's a work in progress and staff may continue to modify them and improve on them. But as long as it's not a resounding no.
Yeah.
I think that was the thing. We didn't want to bring you something and have the whole COA go, what is this?
You all sit in this world and you present the report, and I think there's implicit trust that in your team that you're going to modify things, you're going to hear commentary. What I've heard all the time is that you listen to the voices of the committee and you adapt and change based upon new knowledge. And you won't know that new knowledge until today's reports are great, but when somebody maybe doesn't meet standard, there'll be new knowledge at that point, right?
Right. Exactly.
I think if we just added on something about like, if you guys do your BIR training with whatever you do, let us know, like, did you have questions? Was there something that we need to know? If not.
Is there any, just for the sake of time, because we have a couple agenda items and we have about 10 minutes, not to rush, but we do need to get to a couple more things. Does anyone have any contrary opinion of why it maybe shouldn't move forward before a motion? Did you want to explore that motion earlier that you suggested?
Some of the thorny ones.
I keep inviting myself to stumble over my words on camera. Not that the audience is huge. I don't, probably not. Okay, I move that the COA approve for use the program report templates as discussed in a potentially merged fashion as they see fit to pilot with the BIR training in July and bring back to this body in August for further discussion.
Well done. You sure you're going to leave our committee?
Like I said, I'll be on the other side.
Using the report, using
The template.
Yes.
is there a second on Ms. Jones' motion? We have Member Hall, and this will now be a roll call vote.
Allison Leggett.
Aye.
Augustin Cervantes.
Aye.
Ann Jones.
Aye.
Patrick McKee.
Aye.
Alan Hallis.
Aye.
Mike Hillis.
Aye.
Malika Bryant.
Aye.
Jay Sykes.
Aye.
Connie Campbell.
Aye.
Jessica Bogdanovich.
Aye.
Michelle Hall.
Aye.
And motion carries. Congratulations, staff. Looking forward to seeing the future reports and feedback from BIR training. Item number 19, it's the COA meeting dates. Cheryl says she'd be emailing that out to us. We're not going to have a discussion at this point. Plus, we have new COA members joining us. So we need to move over to item number.
So what I wanted to say on that one is if you think that there's some major event planned on days where it's bolded, which is the staff's recommendation that you can act on next meeting, please let us know so that we can look for another date, figure out which one's better. So just email staff and let us know if, hey, this is a bad date because we're having an induction, something or other, or whatever.
And we are tabling items 21. We're tabling items 22. So we are going to item number 23. And that is going to be Cheryl Hickey presenting the item for nomination of co-chairs for next school year.
Yeah, so last year we were a little behind on this and we wanted to try to catch up a little bit this time. This time of year, we nominate the co-chairs for the beginning and with the next round for 26-27 of COA meetings. So very simply, we open the nominations at this meeting. We keep them open through next meeting. So you can add to the nominations next time, but we basically are asking for nominations for co-chairs. I will just open it up for any nominations for the K-12 position. Remember, we always have a K-12 and we always have a representative from higher ed being the co-chairs. So I'll open it now and we will, you will actually elect at the next meeting. So does anybody want to nominate anybody from the K-12, PK-12 world on this committee? To serve as a co-chair.
Can I nominate the current co-chair?
Yes, you can.
I'd like to do that.
Do we have to move in conjunction with that nomination? Do we have to move to suspend?
Yes, so you would do that at the next meeting. So so we have in our procedures manual that a person can only get nominated twice for 2 terms, but it's your procedures manual. So you're able to just vote to suspend your procedures manual. Then you will vote again on the specifics. So we certainly can do that. So Patrick, you've been nominated again. Are you willing to serve?
I am willing to serve, as long as there's no more fire alarms.
Yeah, promise that.
We adopted the entire agenda.
Are there any more nominations for the PK-12 role? I hear none, but we'll leave that open till the next meeting. And then now higher education. Are there any nominations?
I nominate Jessica.
Okay, who was that? Oh, Allison, thank you. Allison's nominating Jessica again. Jessica, are you willing to serve?
Yes.
Okay, yes.
Learning.
All right. You're in the groove now, right?
Yeah, got it.
All right. Any other nominees for the IHE position? Okay, that's it. So we will keep it open till August and then you will actually elect new co-chairs or existing co-chairs again. Thank you. That's it for that one.
Thank you.
And thank you for your nominations and votes of confidence. We do our best up here to try to navigate a meeting, and we have 5 minutes and we're going to item number 8, which I was told is short. So we're going to go to our administrator, Miranda, presenting item number 8.
Yeah, so item number 8 is submission or discussion of late documents. And so you'll notice in the item, the only thing listed is the SB 48 literacy certification for San Diego Christian College. And so we can report that we have received their resubmission. It's currently under review Staff, particularly Rosemary, has made it a priority to work with the institution to gather all the information needed to complete the review. Again, it's still in review, but we're getting there and we're getting close. So thank you to Rosemary for really working with the institution to get what we need to complete the review.
Any questions from our COA members on that? I think it's something we asked to be added on, so I appreciate just all the updates and follow-ups. And we have 4 minutes for staff reports, so I'm going to pass this over to Ms. Hickey on how you would like to.
I'm
use the
going
time.
to defer to Erin
Golly.
in case she has something burning. Otherwise, I think we can
We have to
go
do public
till.
comment too.
Yes. Oh, yes.
I'll
Okay.
keep it brief. I want to say there's nothing burning, which means there's some things burning, so commission meeting is coming up. Just want to call everybody's attention to the fact that all of the policy items will be on Friday, all of them. So if you tune in, that's your day. And we're going to be talking about a lot of things. The agenda was posted last Friday, so take a look at that. There's just never not a big issue on the commission agenda right now. We're just doing so much. So definitely be aware of that. I have no updates on legislation at the moment. The Assembly passed a budget that it likes over to the governor as of last night at midnight. And now they just have to continue to negotiate with the governor. None of the things previously that we've discussed, like student teacher stipend, additional money for grants, none of those things were pulled out. So it's still what we expected, with maybe some additions, but that remains to be seen still. So that's it.
And I'll just say on the commission agenda, I would, if you're on the COA, or listening and interested in accreditation, I would pay attention to the multiple measures report.
Yep.
I don't know which item that is, but that is the one in which we'll be incorporating into the accreditation system. And that's a document or highlighting some of the important key indicators that can be used. So.
And part of that is in response to AB 1263, which was the TPA work group bill, which requires in statute that institutions' TPA results be made public. So we're finding ways to not just put it out there, and not engage with it, but we're going to publish it. How can we do it in a way that then allows for continuous improvement and for commission to come alongside where needed and those kinds of things? So yeah. It's a follow-on to a conversation at the April meeting where we talked about what the bands would look like. So it's like if your candidates score 80% or below, you're in a certain band area of needs improvement or not, that kind of thing. So just fine-tuning all of that.
Any urgent things?
No, just the BIR training is going to start next month, and we have some more scheduled for September. And I'll have more to share in August. So.
Thank you all for your patience today.
Every day
that was going on.
We're going to quickly go to public comment just in case there is public.
You wanna
comment.
go, Kara?
It's on.
I was like, bye.
Teacher stipend program. Please
Yeah.
keep talking to each other, LEAs and IHEs. We sent out an email this morning and yesterday around determining a point of contact at the LEA. Come watch our webinars. It's been a lot of fun. See you all on the other side, July 1.
July 1.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So we're now going to open for public comment. As a reminder, the COA may not discuss any topics presented during this item as they have not been publicly noticed. Does any member of the public have anything it wishes to say? Please raise your hand in the Zoom feature, or we'll wait a moment to see if we have anyone indicating they wish to speak in the chat function. As a reminder, public comments are limited to 2 minutes. Are there any public comments?
There are no public comments.
And with that, having no further business, I adjourn the June 2026 meeting on the Committee on Accreditation. The next meeting of the Committee on Accreditation is Thursday, August 13, 2026, potentially virtual.
I knew you were going to ask that. I don't know yet. I'm afraid to answer that after today.
But for the record, it's exactly 3 o'clock.
Because today was supposed to be a half-a-day meeting, and it turned out that we had, and thanks to our IPR team, they're just,
Yeah.
so 8 new public or new programs. So yes, fantastic job that they do. But yeah, so I'm not sure. I will let you know as soon as we know.
Awesome. Thank you everyone for helping us all navigate today. Safe travels home.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.